evening and thanks so much for your time with us. This is TV3 and it's News at 10. We're also live on 3FM 92.7. Wherever you are, thanks so much for joining us. We're streaming worldwide on the internet at 3news.com and on our Facebook page. Let's start the day with the day's major news highlights. And beginning from the Upper East region, the Timpani Senior High School male student from Boku Sule Atawini, who was in critical condition at the Boku Presbyterian Hospital, has passed on after suffering from meningitis for days. This is the second death recorded from meningitis in a space of 3 days in the Upper East region. The chairman of the People's National Convention, Bernard Mona, and security analyst Ilbad Ibrahim and others have been arrested by the police for an alleged violation of the Public Order Act. Bernard Mona and his group were alleged to be embarking on a rally in support of a faction in the Togo crisis. Residents of New Takoradi, a fishing community in the Sekondi Takoradi metropolis of the Western region, are demanding a quick fix of their roads after the sword cut for reconstruction. Residents say cutting the sword is not enough. They want to see construction work begin. And to the international front, South Africa's President Jacob Zuma has called on the African National Congress to stop infighting as he decides who will be the party's next leader. Mr. Zuma warned the future of the ANC was under threat, with South Africans not happy with it. If you're watching us from Bolga in the Upper East region, if you are with us from Kintampo in the Bonaf region, if you're watching us from Koforidua in the Eastern region, thanks so much for your time with us. This is News at 10. Let's start with a big one. Thanks so much for your time. The Timpani Senior High School male student from Boku Sule Atawini, who was in critical condition at the Boku Presby Hospital, has passed on after suffering from meningitis for days. This is the second death recorded from meningitis in a space of 3 days in the Upper East region.
Students at Timpani SHS in the Upper East region are in a state of shock after the demise of their colleague, who passed on as a result of meningitis. Most of the students wore red bands, while others were in a sorrowful mood, mourning their departed colleague. The assistant headmaster of the school, Patrick Azuma, said efforts are being made to put the situation under control, asking parents not to panic but pray for the school.
We will be in surveillance to make sure any report we hear would act swiftly to curtail some of these deaths in the school.
The current population of the school, which is about 2,000 students with limited infrastructure, especially accommodation for students. Meanwhile, about 25 students from Boku Senior Technical School and Timpani SHS are still on admission for observation, though some of them have been confirmed to have meningitis. The dead student would be buried according to the Islamic religion.
In other news, the chairman of the People's National Convention, Bernard Mona, and security expert Ilbad Ibrahim and others have been arrested by the police for an alleged violation of the Public Order Act. Bernard Mona and his group were alleged to be embarking on a rally in support of a faction in the Togo crisis.
It was a walk, not a demonstration. The police proceeded to arrest the members of the group before they could even embark on the walk. As at 12 noon Saturday, those arrested were still held by the police, who were tight-lipped on exactly what charges were preferred against them. Meanwhile, counsel for Bernard Mona at Tugubai and Associates have written to the Nima police demanding explanation of their arrest and what offence he had committed.
We apologize for that. The story is that the chairman of the People's National Convention, Bernard Mona, security analyst Ilbad Ibrahim and others who were embarking on a rally were arrested by the police for alleged violation of the Public Order Act.
News about the arrest of the chairman of the People's National Convention, Bernard Mona, security expert Ibad Ibrahim, and about 15 others went viral Saturday morning. Information picked up from the Nima police station indicates that Bernard Mona and the others had gathered at the Kaukudi Park in Accra to embark on a rally in relation to the political upheaval in neighboring Togo. Sources say the police had earlier declined an application from the group on grounds that they do not have the men to support their activity. We are told that the group, Ghana-Togo Solidarity Movement, however, decided to embark on the rally without approval from the police, insisting it was a walk, not demonstration. The police proceeded to arrest the members of the group before they could even embark on the walk. As at 12 noon Saturday, those arrested were still held by the police, who were tight-lipped on exactly what charges were preferred against them. Meanwhile, counsel for Bernard Mona at Tugubai and Associates have written to the Nima police demanding explanation of their arrest and what offence he had committed.
Meanwhile, the PNC chairman has defended the decision to hold the rally after the police said it did not have the men to guard them through the gatherings. Speaking on News 360, Bernard Mona maintained per the law they were to only notify the police, not seek permission.
I think that the police, they have been so unprofessional. Their
Really?
action has been so uncouth of modern
They
policing.
say you flouted the Public Order Act. That's what they are claiming.
You see,
what did you do?
on the
Tell us.
5th of December, I wrote a letter and sent it to the Inspector General of Police, notifying them in accordance with the Public Order Act that we're going to do Ghana-Togo Solidarity Rally in Accra.
What was their response? Did they write back to
Look,
you?
the Public Order Act says that notify the police. They didn't say the police give you permission or they have to. And we have notified them duly.
But they said they didn't have enough men to support.
Is it my
the
duty
decision
to
you
employ
wanted
people to become police officers?
But I guess you have to be in.
Is
on
it
their
my
side.
duty?
Since you
Is
wrote
it
to
my
them
duty?
to provide you security?
Is it my duty to employ police persons to come and guard demonstration? And look at the irrationality there and the illogical position. You don't have sufficient police to just come and stay at a rally, but you can come with police in vans in a Rambo style who had energy to be chasing people left, right, and center.
How many people did you organize to take part in the
At the time that the
protest?
police came, there were about 300 people that were already on the ground. And many more people were coming. The police called me yesterday
Yes.
and told me that most of their men are on a promotion exam. And so they don't have sufficient men. I said, sorry. You know that in order to stop people from going on a public demonstration or rally, you have to get approval from the court. You are talking to me without any court order. I wrote to you.
But Bernard, to provide you with security,
I didn't
I'm
need
sure
them.
You should have agreed with the police,
The
because
police,
if anything should
I wrote
go
a
wrong
letter to them
with your
on the
protest
5th.
march, if
Are you
anything-
listening to the logic?
If anything went wrong with
are you listening to the logic? Are you listening to the logic?
The police were going
Are you
to be held
listening to the
responsible
logic?
for not
I wrote to
providing you
them
with
on the
security,
5th. The
Bernard.
Public Order Act says that minimum of 5 days notification. From 5th to 16th, how many days? 11 days. It was only yesterday that they called me and I thanked them and told them that I'll be expecting them. This morning, Kwesi Fori was on the ground. And I had a chat with him and said he was getting to the Nima police station and to come back. And all that they could go and do was to go and send police to come and attack, beat people and rush us the way they did. At the time that we were doing this rally in Ghana, there was the same rally taking place in Abuja. Last week, one took place in Lagos. You think that the Nigerian government doesn't have the police to unleash them on their citizens?
But Bernard, let's come back to the situation. You are a Ghanaian, chairman of the People's National Convention, a political party, a respected one in Ghana. What is your interest in Togolese politics?
The president of Ghana went to the UN recently and had the courage to be talking about human rights abuses in Rohingya, or among the Rohingyas. And Rohingya is near Ghana. Myanmar is near Ghana.
Myanmar.
Is it near Ghana?
It's in Asia.
It's in Asia. The president of Ghana, the president of Nigeria, all Africans were interested in condemning human rights abuses. Is it not an eyesore that we cannot just talk about the events, sordid pictures that are going on in Togo, and when citizens decide to voice out that, look, what is happening in Togo should be of concern to us, the government will inspire the police to come and brutalize us the way they have done.
So, what do you want to tell us from the police point of view? What you saw?
I think that they have behaved unprofessional, except to commend the Nima police commander, who welcomed us and treated us as like human beings. But in the manner that they came to disrupt our rally was unprofessional. We gave them instructions. And look what the police have done. Next time, if I have to organize a public manifestation, I may not go and inform or notify the police, because after notifying you, you come and disrupt us. Next time I'll go and do it without notifying you, because the police itself is disobedient of the laws.
No, but the instruction says, the order says you should write to the police.
It says notify them
about your intention.
For how many days?
Yes, but you did that. Now the police have responded in a different way. So because how would you want the police to respond to situation in future?
My lawyer has written to the police. Indeed, my lawyer's letter to them.
You claim they acted unprofessional. How would you have wanted them to handle your situation?
Come and provide security.
Which they said they didn't have enough men.
And they have enough men to come and disrupt it.
Well, that's between you and the police. So we will find out. Bernard Bona, it's good to speak to. I'm sure there will be enough more time. There will be more time to speak into detail.
9 o'clock, and they didn't care whether I take water or not.
So they've reached your human rights?
As soon as they released me, then TV3 was there to pick me up, and I'm grateful. Maybe from here you may offer me water to drink.
We definitely.
There is more of that on 3news.com. The Alliance for Social Equity and Public Accountability has proposed to the Education and Health Ministries to collaborate and organize a health screening exercise for all senior high students before vacation. ASEPA wants students screened for H1N1 virus, the meningitis, and other contagious diseases. My guest in the studio is with the group, Mensa Thompson, who will help us to understand exactly how this can deal with the problem we have. Grateful for your time once again here, Mensa Thompson. Now, the exercise will deal with the problem?
Exactly. I mean, what we want government to do is that we've had a series of deaths in other, health conditions recorded in our schools.
Right.
And so far, we don't know what government is doing to prevent a national outbreak, because school is just about to vacate. Students are coming home. Students have been exposed to this H1N1. Students have been exposed to meningitis. They are coming home to mingle with us. They are coming to be integrated into the communities. I mean, they are going to have all sorts of contacts. We are in the Christmas season. There are going to be a lot of social gatherings, Christmas parties, conventions, religious activities, conferences. All these students are also going to be part of these activities.
Right.
And they are going to be exposed to citizens who haven't been exposed to this virus. And so there's something needs to be done to make sure that we don't have a national outbreak of this H1N1 and meningitis that is claiming lives and putting our students under a lot of distress.
That's why you're asking them to do the screening. But if we look at the way the virus is spreading, is it that government is able to deal with it? Because what we're seeing now, that seem as if the virus is on rampage. So the exercise, will government be in a position to do it?
Yes, right. We haven't been particularly excited, or let me say satisfied with the level of effort being put to combat, the disease so far. I mean, I'm not sure even if we are prepared medically and in terms of emergency for a national outbreak. We've recorded several incidences in our various campuses across the country. And so far, I don't see even the emergency systems that have been put in place by government if there is an outbreak. We haven't seen anything yet. And with the Kumaka incident, with respect to the H1N1, we've had the place fumigated. We've had some reports that some headcounts have been done, but that is not enough. That is not enough. Because if we say we've done some fumigation, we've done some headcount, and some children have been given to the students, and so the situation has been brought under control, I don't think it's enough to say the situation has been brought under control. Students were on sports, programs. They went out, they mingled with other students, they mingled with other people, okay, who have been exposed to the virus. Now, the fact that people are not, exhibiting symptoms of the disease doesn't mean they don't have the virus. People may have it, they are still incubating the virus, and they come home, they fall sick, and they spread the disease across. And that is why we are saying that every district in Ghana has a district hospital.
Right.
We have a district health directorate.
Some of them, not
some
all
of them,
yes.
But majority of them. So what happens is that at every district, a team of medical staff can be put together at the district hospitals who will go and then screen the students or the schools in their district. And so the activity will be district based. So you don't need
it shouldn't come from the national.
It shouldn't come from the
national thing.
So some resources can be pushed there from the national part, so that. But we want it to be district-based. When it is district-based, it becomes faster and quicker. And then when the students are screened, those who have to be quarantined will be quarantined and treated. Those who do not have the virus can
and get the vaccine.
Allowed.
Just, I think before we hit Friday, we saw the health minister on the front page of the Finder suggesting that the vaccines, if schedules were go right, the vaccines should arrive by the weekend. If we're screening them and we needed to vaccinate them, we have what it takes to do it in terms of the number of vaccines that these over 800 schools were told we need?
Yes, right. And that brings back to the response that was given to the outbreak. I mean, we've had these cases, we've recorded several cases, since April, okay? And so I'm wondering why, as at now, we still have vaccines and medicines in transit. What was the Ministry of Health doing at that time? Because if we've had outbreaks in April, that claims about 3 or 4 lives in Komaka. And then the situation have gone on. We have also meningitis outbreak in other parts of the country. Up till now, if the ministry is not, giving us any kind of, policy direction in terms of how the ministry is going to handle this, if it blows out of proportion, then we can't feel safe exactly when we are entering this festive season. So we will appeal to the Ministry of Health. This is an issue of public health. Okay. Now, even if it comes to even the small cases that have been recorded in our various secondary schools, we haven't been able to deal with it that much. So what happens if there's a national outbreak? So we plead with them. They should put some emergency into this approach. Do the right things. Make sure that all the procurement procedures that have to be followed, so that all the logistics that we need in terms of medicines, in terms of all the stuff that will help, attack this disease or bring it under control, and also prevent from spreading. It has to be done.
Right. I'm grateful for your time with us once again. Mensa Thompson is with SEPA and asking the health and education ministries to go into screening the students before they get home. This is News at 10. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll tell you the NPP is ready for tomorrow's extraordinary National Delegates Conference in Kumasi. Stay with us if you can. Welcome back. And now all is set in Kumasi. The ruling NPP will tomorrow, Sunday, December 17, hold an extraordinary National Delegates Conference. The conference is to consider various proposed amendments to the party's constitution. The conference comes on the back of the annual National Delegates Conference that was held in August this year. At that conference, various proposals were made for amendment to the party's constitution. Over 5,000 delegates, including founding fathers and patrons of the party, members of parliament on the party's ticket, metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives, and national officers of the party are expected at the conference in Kumasi.
Promises aimed at reducing Europe, the New Patriotic Party
And of course, our men and women are there in Kumasi. They will be getting you all the details from there. But let's take a quick look at the party's constitution. The NPP's constitution first was registered with the Electoral Commission on 24th June 1992. That was the first time the party was registered. The party's constitution was registered. Now, what is going to happen in Kumasi will be the fourth time the party's constitution is being amended, because the constitution has seen some 3 earlier amendments. The second amendment was in August 2003, and the third amendment was in August 2009. Those are the amendments that were made to the constitution. Now, the NPP's proposed constitutional amendments, among other things contained in the various proposals, include the fact that people with dual citizenship cannot become executives of the party. They cannot contest for executives of the party. And of course, one key thing that also be looked at is the fact that MMDCs who are interested in contesting sitting MPs would have to resign their position to contest. All those amendments will be done in Kumasi at tomorrow's conference. All right, so our team is there, and from tomorrow they'll be in with all that will happen there in Kumasi. Thanks so much for your time on 3FM 92.7 and on TV3. We are back here same time tomorrow, but stay right here because there's more coming up. The show was put together by Selom. My name is Bright Manafo. Have a good evening and sleep well.